Okay. Good afternoon, friends. Well, I have a tough job now. After a heavy lunch to keep you all awake. Okay. Well, to be honest, I have very, very few slides to show you. Okay. The idea is not to put you to sleep. If you guys feel sleepy, kindly let me know. I'll also have a good nap. Okay. Okay. Before I start, can I request you with these, please? Keeping your mobiles off. And please be on time every time. Please keep your laptop off. There'll be no breaks. Okay? Please do not move out of the room to attend calls, because you keep putting it in silent, walking out, it disturbs. This is my humble request. And sometimes what happens, you also call in visitors. I'm near, मैं तो लोधी रोड पे हूँ, आप ही पास ही हो, why don't you come and meet here? So that, if possible, avoidable, will be really great. Okay? Sure. Now I'm showing you a very important slide. This is about us. I guess this is the last slide I have. What do we do in infinite possibilities? The idea of infinite possibilities came from the fact that if you look outside the box, if you think out of the box, the possibilities are plenty. If you think the solution is one, there are multiple solutions. So it's infinite possibilities. What we do is we provide end-to-end HR solutions. We also are into employee outsourcing. We have almost about 350 employees working with us. We are also into HR outsourcing, which means we run the HR department of companies. We are not, I would say we are not fully a consultant. We are more than a consultant. We run the department, the whole department, like ZTV, one division of ZTV has outsourced the whole department, HR department to us. So we run it like their HR department. Likewise, there are quite a few companies, the companies in the auto sector, companies in the service, manufacturing. So we run the HR department. So we know what's happening. We are in touch on a day-to-day, the pulse of the organization. We know the issues, what the organization goes through, right? That's the HR outsourcing. Training is another thing. We also do high-end HR consulting. And of course, background verification, since we are existent in almost 14 locations in the country. We thought background verification makes very good business sense. It came in only as to make the cash flow better. That's it. One is the appraisal. Okay. The second area that I would touch upon would be on induction. And the third area that I would like to touch upon would be incentive. Okay. To begin with, appraisal. What is appraisal? I'm used to copying right from a young age, so I keep a paper in front of me. Okay. What is appraisal? Assess. I mean, if I directly translate appraisal, it is assessing. What else? Any youngster out here? Potential. Measuring one's ability. Okay. What else?
Feedback. You try to find out his strength.
That's right. That's a later on. But the mere word appraisal, what does it mean? To assess. To evaluate. To judge. To gauge. So these are all the words which are called. How many of us have been through appraisals in our life? Huh? Have you been through appraisals? When was your first appraisal? Sorry? 20 years back was your appraisal. Do you agree with him? When was your first appraisal of your life? Sorry?
We had a double appraisal.
So you got double increment?
No.
Yeah? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was working in a sister concern at Scott. I used to appraise myself and my head of the department.
Okay. Right. But when was your first appraisal in life? Absolutely. When you got admitted to the school, that was your first appraisal. So what does the appraisal contain? Go back to your school. What do you call it as? It's called a report card. Okay. So what does it contain? It contains the marks. Very good. All of you attended school. Okay. What else? What is that against marks? It's sorry? Marks, remarks. Okay. Remarks. Okay. It has a grade. Marks has a grade. Grade or what else? You had grades, is it, in school? What is it called? A plus A you had in school? I thought you had 100 out of 100. You had marks, right? What are the marks out of how many? So the marks had a target, and what was the target? 100%, 100 out of 100. Okay. And what else did it have? What are the parameters? Subjects. Everybody talked about marks but forgot about subjects. Okay. What else? Attendance. Okay. What else? What are your achievements? Against this target, what have you achieved? What else? It had a behavior column. Very good. What else? Sorry? Sorry? Punctuality, attendance. Okay. If I may say that. What else? Somebody said? Rank. Okay. It had a rank. First rank, second rank, whatever that is. What else did it have? It had areas of improvement. What else? What else did it have? Result, I think, did I write result somewhere else? I said what you have achieved, no? That is result? Okay. Pass or fail. It is promoted, no? Are you promoted to the next class or you are in the same class? Okay, I am sure you were promoted. That's why you remember that better. Sorry?
Could it be identification of skills? Skill identification.
Skill in what sense? Areas of improvement? Okay. I would also say areas of improvement may have what are the skills that the child has or what are you have. What else? Lacking. So what is it called? What is it called? What is lacking? What is it called? Weak points. So there were weak points as well as strength and weakness. What else? What else did it have? Should I say remarks is overall remarks? Sorry? Remarks or threat means what do you mean by that?
Child is good in this, but he lacks this.
That's evaluation.
Would you say areas of improvement? Would I say that?
Yes.
That's also part of areas. What else? What else? Character is behavior. I have put behavior. Parent signature, very important. Before parent signature, there is somebody else's signature, no? Your class teacher signature is there? So, signature of your class teacher is there. Then, principal is also there. What else?
Jam is there.
Okay, correct. Particulars. Name of the school, organization, name of school, department, okay, all that. Okay, what else?
Exam, evaluation.
हो गया ना? Marks achieved. What else? Most of you have gone to school, but some of you have bunked. I'm very sure about it. What else? Discipline is behavior. Extracurricular activities. Okay. Good in what? What else? What else?
First semester report, second semester report, something like this.
What is that?
Marks obtained in first semester, then second semester.
Yeah, first term, second term. Okay. Right, right. Okay, you have first term, second term, okay, and then final, right? Final exam. What else?
You are right, response, punctuality, etc.
Yeah, attendance, punctuality. What else? That has another important thing. Suppose, let us say, the teacher finds that the child is very good in playing cricket. No. Extracurricular activities, everybody takes part. But some children excel. Like, I'll give an example. My child, he's just joined an engineering college. But when he was in 7th or 8th, I think, sorry, 5th or 6th, the teacher told us that he was very much interested in astronomy. So, no, he was not genius, but he was interested in astronomy. So the teacher said, I think you should pursue him doing astrophysics or aerospace. The child will become, or you should pursue his interests. In today's situation, all our children have interests. So what is that called? What is that called? No. What is it called? No. What is it called? Create. No. What is it called? Sorry? No. There's one word for it. What is the potential of the child? He has a potential to become an aerospace or an astrophysicist. Likewise, this child has a interest. I don't know if you watched that movie called Ferrari Ki Savari. You all watched? It's a beautiful movie actually. So in that, the child, he says, has the potential to play for India. So he gets into coaching, he's sent abroad for coaching. So the potential of the child you recognize. Okay. What else? Anything else? Okay. What else? See, as we move ahead in our career in terms of our studies, you will find that somewhere we believe that certain subjects are very, very important. For example, which are the most important subjects according to you? Maths. What else? Physics. Chemistry for a commerce student, commerce. Economics. Statistics. So these are all important subjects. So what do we do as parents? What do we tell our child as parents? अगर वो मैथ्स में 50 निकाला 50%, फिजिक्स में 65%, suddenly in English he has scored 95%, Hindi he has scored some 85%. So what will you tell the child? Beta, you want to push him to read or to study a little more in maths. So you would like to give weightages to different subjects. Do we all give weightages to subjects? We all give? So there's a weightage that you give. Right. Okay. So this is where there are many other things. This is where we actually started our first appraisal or the first report card. Now let's extrapolate the same thing into an industry and see whether this makes sense, relevance or not. Okay? What is marks in an industry? Subjects. Okay, let's take first subjects. We talked about subjects. In an industry context, what are the subjects? Any, yeah, it can be garment industry, it can be any industry. What is it called? Subjects. There are 5: physics, chemistry, maths, Hindi, English. Okay, by and large. Okay, I'm not saying that economics and other things are also, I'm just taking as an example. So our subjects are 5. So our subjects here are our KRAs or KPIs. Yeah, KPIs is your key performance indicator. What are those things that you would like to monitor across the organization? That is what is the key performance indicator. KRA fulfills the key performance indicator. Okay, so you can say KPIs and KRAs. Okay, KPIs, you know, subjects here is you're getting all, it's all physics, chemistry, maths, right? What else? You have a weightage against each of these KRAs. Supposing, for example, the sales guy has got 5 KRAs. One of his KRA is to go and sell and get money into the company. Second is to ensure that the receivables are reduced, he has to collect the money within 30 days or 45 days. Third KRA is, let us say he has to ensure that, you know, some of the high value products he keeps the margin the same. There may be certain other where he says that he has to go about searching for the additional dealers. Let's assume that. Now, which is the most important KRA according to weightage? The sales. Only if the money comes in, the rest of the activities will happen. Whether further dealers you want to bring in or further distributors you want to bring in or whatever it is. So the basic essence is to get in money. So the weightage of money can be out of 100, it can be 60%. Something else can be 20%. There are certain things which can be 5%. So the weightages are very critical. And grades, what is the grade in an industry standard? Outstanding, good, very good, good, poor, average, poor, unsatisfactory, whatnot. So those are your grades. Excellent, very good, good, poor, unsatisfactory, right? Do you also have behavior? Do we have behavior? To perform your KRAs, to do your KRAs, to fulfill those KPIs, there are certain behavior that you need to exhibit, which also forms the value of the company, the values of the company. For example, if I go and achieve sales by paying money underhand, is it acceptable? I got my target. Is it okay? Is the behavior okay? Or I say, go and achieve the target. Or else, सरदार जी ये है ना, ये सेल्स टारगेट है, ठीक है, आपको अचीव करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, next quarter, you know, you have to achieve these targets. So what am I doing? What will you do? You will achieve the targets? Of course you will achieve the targets. But then what? There's a gun pointing on his head. Any moment, the trigger will go. What is the trigger? Boss, ऐसा है. Why don't you look for another job?
I will achieve it.
Okay. Okay. So, it's important. So, we were talking about behavior. So, what type of behavior is acceptable to achieve those KRAs is equally important. Organizations, people join you and people leave you not because of the KRAs. It's not going to change. Every company is the same. It is because of your behavior towards them. If your behavior towards them is not okay, they'll leave you and go. But if they find, sometimes if they find there is fairness in the way you deal with people, that's the behavior you're exhibiting, then people will stay with you. So, the behavior becomes very important. What we also call is, in our terms, there are certain competencies that you need to, apart from behavior, there are certain competencies. Okay. Competencies are basically your skill and the behavior that you exhibit. So these are two important things which talks about your competency of whether you are competent enough to perform. Okay. That's how you grow. What about rank? Okay. What about rank? Rank is already there. It's also a part of the weightage. Excellent, very good, whatever it is. Is there a promotion that happens? It happens in an industry. There's a promotion. Okay. So the promotion is there. Is there an area of improvement in your appraisal? So when you receive a feedback from your boss, there is an area of improvement. You're good in this, you need to improve in this. So there is also this. Then what else? Is there strength and weakness? Strength and weakness? The strength is what we call it as SWOT. Strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. With strength comes your opportunities. With weakness comes your threats. So the time you convert a weakness into strength, it becomes an opportunity. It is no more a threat. Okay. So this is the way the strength, weakness. So each one of all of us have strength and weaknesses. Every one of us. So we need to decide what are our strengths, utilize the strength to go and get more business, or utilize the strength for the betterment of the organization, and your weakness are the areas where you need to get developed. That becomes your area of development. So your weaknesses become your area of development. There is another thing in today's scenario. It's called appreciative inquiry. What it means is very simple. Big words we all like to give, so that people, feel that, ye bhi kuch baat kar rahe hain. But the answer is very simple. What it means is, if a guy is very good in his performance, why can't you get little more out of him? काम करने वालों से और काम लीजिए, काम नहीं करने वाले से कुछ नहीं कर सकते, उसको प्रमोशन दे दीजिए. राइट? दैट्स द वे वी फॉलो. ओके, क्योंकि वो आके तंग करता रहता है, क्या करना है, ठीक है, उसको प्रमोशन दे दो. राइट? इट हैपेंस इन मेनी कंपनीज. So the poor guy is, the guy who works continues to work. Okay, right? So strength, weakness. What about the class teacher? Who is your class teacher here? Your boss. What is he called? Appraiser, superior. And who is your principal? So this is your appraiser or your superior, and this is your, he is called the reviewer. One who reviews. In all appraisal systems, there are two people. One is the boss, who is also called the superior or the appraiser. Okay, his boss also appraises. Two, he is called the reviewer. Now, why? The question is, why there are two people? See, what happens in any appraisal system is, there are certain biases. This man is very good. Why? Because last time whatever I tell him, he does. Boss, मेरे घर में जरा सब्जी भी पहुंचा देना आज शाम को. So he's a very nice guy. Okay? And look, and she may say, look, why the hell should I do? She kind of confronts me. So I have a problem with her. So what happens is, my alignment will be more towards you. So I'll give him a better weightage or rating. Weightage to same over. Rating. than over her. So what happens is the reviewer is responsible to bring in the fairness in the process. He should say, look boss, I don't think it is right. Okay. So appraiser gives the rating, reviewer, he has got an overall view because he's got everybody's. He may have so many appraisers, so many superiors reporting into him. Each superior is appraising his people. Now finally he is appraising everybody else. So he has to ensure that everybody, there is a fairness in the whole dealing. Now, what else happens is, see what happens in any organization is there is a tendency to rate everybody excellent. Everybody is excellent or very good. Many companies excellent, very good, but what is the company rating? Poor. They are not performed. Everybody is good and excellent. Because all the bosses are not, they like to keep their subordinates happy. And they are not able to confront. You require guts to confront. It is very difficult, it is very easy to say, you are an excellent performer. You have done very well. You are a good guy. You can do better. But it's very difficult to say, boss, I think you need to improve. Your performance is not as good as what it should be. I don't mean to say that you need to be so curt. But you can be nice at the same time firm. That is where as a boss, I will be able to help him improve. I'll give you a simple example. What happens is, I am not able to confront him. Ye mera aadmi hai. We were having a seminar, I was also attending a seminar in one of those. This is quite interesting. It's a little away from the subject. So, we were talking about different kinds of managers, different kinds of leaders. तो एक आदमी हाथ उठाया बोला, बॉस हमारे कंपनी में 3 प्रकार के मैनेजर होते हैं. एक है आलतू, दूसरा फालतू, तीसरा पालतू. ओके आलतू तो काम करता है, फालतू तो फिर भी ठीक है, फालतू, लेकिन पालतू से बहुत डर लगता है. वो बॉस का आदमी है, वो इन्फॉर्मर है. ओके सो दीज काइंड ऑफ situations we encounter. So that is where it's important that if everybody in the company is rated very good or excellent or outstanding, because once all increments are linked to that, promotion is linked to that, once you incur that cost, it remains permanent. You can't, can I bring down your salary if the business comes down? No. It happened in 2008. Some of the people had to take a cut. They took a cut, but when the market improved, they all left. Okay. So it's very difficult to reduce. So once you incur that cost, it becomes permanent. So it's important to, what we call it as in HR, what we do is we get everybody's rating. Then what we do is we form a bell curve. Bell curve मालूम है आपको? All of you have done the 3 sigma, 6 sigma, no? 3 sigma wala bell curve. Here it means that if this is average, or let us say this is good, good is actually average, if I may assume. Here is your excellent, okay? Here is your very good, good, poor and unsatisfactory. So let us say here is about 5% of the people here, 5% of the people here, 15% of the people here, 15% of the people here, rest are here, 30, 40, 60% of your people are actually average, good. Have you heard about Pareto's principle? What does Pareto's principle say? What does Pareto's principle say? Correct. Can you be louder? Good lunch, you right? Yes, what is it? Yeah, 20% of the people give you 80% of the output. And 80% of the people give you 20% of the output. That's what it means, Pareto principle. So, here it means that here is my 20% who are key performers. These are outstanding. So, my promotion comes from here. and also from here, but never from here. Here, area of improvement, development, all those things happen. So there are some people who are showing sparks to come here. Okay. So here is where you need to retain your people. So your appraisal should be fair, it should give the right kind of increment, it should give the promotion to these people. Likewise, you want these people also to remain with you, so that these are your cream. If they start leaving, unfortunately when times are good, people from here leave. Here people hardly leave, here people never leave, very, very rare. Here though definitely they don't leave. So the mediocre people are always there in the organization. That's why we call it as bell curve. So we kind of go back to the managers and tell them, hey boss, your department has too many people who are in this category. So you need to necessarily bring some people here and some people here also. Everybody cannot be outstanding. So what happens? HR comes back to you. Then you do the rework, normalization, that's the right word. Once you do the normalization, then what happens? How typically the feedback is given? Let's say he is rated as excellent. I rate him as very good. And I tell him in the beginning, you are very good. Suddenly HR is changed it to good. So what happens? So how do I tell him? Boss, मैंने तो आपको वेरी गुड दिया था, एचआर वाले ने चेंज कर दिया, मैं क्या करूं? उन्होंने आपको वेरी गुड दे दिया, मैं क्या करूं? बॉस, ये सब एचआर वाले ऐसे ही होते हैं. Okay, that means this guy doesn't have the guts to say. It cannot be done without his knowledge. HR is not waking up and saying you reduce these 5 people down. No, they don't know. They are not interacting with your people on a day-to-day basis. You are the people who are interacting on a day-to-day basis. So without his or without your consent, they cannot bring down the rating. Right? So the way you express and say, the people who are able to express and say, they are the ones who actually grow to leadership levels. It is very easy to appreciate, but it's very difficult to tell a person that you are reprimand, saying that you have not done a good job. A leader has to do both. Otherwise, if he is reporting to the promoter, promoter will say, I don't want this person, and there they'll change immediately. The fear of being at the topmost level is you get changed overnight. Okay. So that's where the whole normalization exercise starts, and it's important to balance it out. Okay. Okay. Extracurricular activities. Is there extracurricular activities? We take part, like?
It keeps contribution, organization contribution apart from individual contribution, as well as extracurricular activities within the forum.
Right. What are your extracurricular activities? Organization conducts quiz, conducts competitions, conducts games, conducts annual events. These are also very important for motivation of people, to retain people. So those are the extracurricular activities that you would bring in. Right? What is this first term, second term, final? How do you relate that to the appraisal? You have appraisal that happens half yearly and annually. Is it the right way to do it? Is it the right way to do it? Why do you think so?
In between, when you do an assessment, so you know exactly if he is lacking, why, what is the.
But what's the point in appraising a person after 6 months?
We do appraisal, we set targets, right?
Okay.
So once we set targets, like that is for the next year coming.
Okay.
In between, we do a midterm analysis. In that we see where he's falling back or he's on the.
Where he is. Okay, it's a good point. Okay, halfway 6 months we do a review of the appraisal, where you are, where the target is, where you are against those target, and then we try to improve or change. but that is a wake up, you're waking up after 6 months. So what we have done is, I'll show you that particular slide part. We have created the KRA sheet and then we have also formulated an action plan. See what happens, your KRAs have to be interlinked. So how does it get interlinked? We'll discuss that point also. It's important to review. Review happens, when does the review happen? When should the review happen? Almost on a daily basis. Should say, okay, you need to improve here, you need to do things better, you're not as good here, okay, you're great here. So review has to happen on a day-to-day basis as far as possible. Not after 6 months is a formal review. After 1 year it's a formal, that is your final examination, no? Promotion, increment, whatever, rating, that is your final examination. So prior to that, sorry? Yeah, we are talking about your performance monitoring, absolutely correct. Performance monitoring should happen on a, preferably on a monthly basis, but it's very difficult, it's not practically possible. Or else it should be on a quarterly basis, project to project. It depends on your organization, the way you work, the KPIs, the nature of the industry. For a service industry, it's very different. For a manufacturing industry, it's very different. Within manufacturing, it is different. Within service, if you look at an NGO, it's different. If you look at a telecom, it's different. So each company, there is a difference. So it's important to accordingly analyze, understand, and then relate and decide, okay, what needs to be done. And finally, is there a potential in your appraisal? What does the potential say? What does the potential say? Sorry? No. Sorry? That is your promotion. What is potential? What do you mean by potential? We just discussed about the child. What do you mean by potential? One is, if you want to improve, there is an area of improvement. Give the input, the person goes to the next stage. But you are looking at moving the person or recognizing that this person has the potential. You're not going to move the person 5 stages ahead, but you know that this person has the ability to move 5 stages. Certain are inborn, I wouldn't say inborn. Everything can be acquired. Sorry? It's not growth. When you talk about potential, you're recognizing a person's, as you say, okay, one of the capability. Going forward, you find that there are some people who have capability of becoming a leader of this company. The way he has exhibited the way he is able to deliver the KRAs, the way he is able, the behavior he has shown, his ability to understand the situation. See what happens, situation in the market changes on a day-to-day basis. There are some people who are able to take calls like this, think on their feet and able to take decisions like this, and they are able to implement that. But there are many people who need to be told what needs to be done. Majority of them need to be told. Whereas the people here, this 5% and a part of the 15%, they start thinking and delivering on their feet. So that is where you recognize the potential. Like you said, no, this child has the potential to become an astrophysicist. So develop the interest. This child has an interest or the potential to become a cricketer. So you need to give that input right now. Otherwise the child cannot become a cricketer if you say after 3 years. Age is gone. Time is gone. Time is important. So what you recognize, the potential within the individual, it's a spark. The right word is the spark in the individual. You're recognizing and saying, let's kind of help improve that spark into something which is more realistic. So you start recognizing that's how leaders, you send people for outside programs. People are sent abroad, people are sent to IIMs, people are sent to ISB in Hyderabad, people are sent to, programs which are very expensive. Why? Not everybody gets the chance, because there is a potential for this individual to head. There are people who, just become like that. When you shift companies, one company to the other, you become the boss. Okay? At some stage you become the boss because you've changed. But then, if you have not shown the spark at the top level, you will not be able to succeed. Okay? Like I just met a CEO this morning. He came and met me. We were just discussing about his ability. He has grown the ladder. So I asked him, at your level, you want to become the CEO. What is your external interface? Are you able to pick up the phone and get things done? Are you able to meet the right bureaucrat and get the policies changed or reworked on? Do you have an influence? I told him, you are not required to go in. Your review process of what's happening within the organization is only 15% now, 20%. Rest 80% is what is your external interface. So that is where you need to develop. So each area of development, when you put into your appraisal process, it becomes important to, at some stage, it becomes important to say, what is it that I need to keep developing on, so that when I reach that level, I am able to deliver that requirement. So if I ask you, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Is a very wide meaning.
Right.
But once you are in the organization and performing your core KRAs, so your potential will be related only towards that and only. It cannot be taken into very wide sense. Suppose, let's say for HR, you are dealing your core area day in and day out. So your potentials are going to be developed towards that and only. It cannot be that you may head the organization or operations. That chance remains very limited.
Sure.
For a HR person.
See, there is something called,
Potential, what I mean to say, it has a very wide meaning, and it depends and relates to a particular situation of a person who is put into that kind of a situation.
It also relates to individual. If the individual is willing and he's got the attitude, he can become the head of the organization. I've seen people go from nothing into anything.
That's the exceptions would be there.
There are a lot of exceptions.
if you see the potential, see, even let us say an HR person.
But once we are trying to define the appraisal system,
Yeah.
when we are discussing the appraisals,
Right.
it is an ongoing exercise, continuous exercise in the organization, wherein a particular person is appraised on the job.
Correct.
So his area of performance is limited to that only.
See, yeah, if I may. See, there are two ways of looking at it. As I said, potential is an outcome of your KRAs and your ability or your behavior or ability or your skills that you show in approaching those KRAs and the ability to deliver. The quality of output that you deliver is also equally important. There are people, see, there is a if you see even in your own HR field, there are people, let's say for example, if I can name an individual who's done very well, let's take a person like Santrupta Mishra, vis-a-vis someone else in the organization. The man has shown potential within HR. He is able to bring in lot of new, if you see his whole career, the way he has grown, he has brought in lot of new ideas and processes as to how you can make your own job more effective. Suppose you have your KRAs. You can come out with ways and means of making your job more effective. Your quality of output can be much better that way. You can bring in innovation, thinking out of the box. Correct. So within that, you develop a potential of saying, look, I'm able to do this, and there are a lot of people you will find around you. You are able to influence the other in your own department. Okay? The others within your department gets influenced. That this man is able to do, we can also do. So there is a leadership spark within you that you see in the function that you can kind of nurture that to become a very successful HR guy. Tomorrow you can head a very large organization, or within your organization you find that if you do well, there are other functions that also start coming in. Like for example, an HR guy can also handle a customer relations job. That's interfacing. Okay, so those kind of interrelated functions can also happen. Yeah, functional competencies, like for example, this organization is a sales driven organization or is a production driven organization or whatever that is. There you need to functionally have that expertise. Okay, so those functional expertise, if you're willing to acquire, see at the end of the day, at some level, your CEO, he is not an expert in HR, he is not an expert in finance, he's also come through a function. He may be a production person, but the rest of the functions he is able to coordinate very well. And in the process, his area of improvement, he starts getting those inputs which are required for him to function as a head of the organization. So you need to understand which are those areas that you need to have those inputs, right? So if you recognize in individuals, we see spark in children, likewise we see spark in everybody across the organization. Everybody is good in something. Unfortunately, 95% of us do things which we don't like. The teacher who comes and teaches, he hates his job. There's no passion, there's no feeling of, the passion within. So half of us don't have the passion of whatever we do. This is what you're getting in the world. So better start loving and enjoying it. Otherwise you'll crib throughout your life. It's not that the grass looks greener always on the other side. So when you go on the other side, see the psychology of human. I'll tell you how it works. If I want to leave this company, I'll find umpty number of reasons to leave this company. It's not good, that's not good, मेरे को increment नहीं मिला, मेरे को promotion नहीं हुआ, इसको मिला, उसको मिला. The problem is not what you got, the problem is what others got. Okay, so you leave the company, you go to the next company, you're very excited, you start working. After some days, you say, अरे इस कंपनी में ऐसा होता है, लेकिन उस कंपनी में ऐसा नहीं होता था. वहां पर मेरे को ऐसा होता था. That's the way I used to do. This is the way I used to function. I had more authority. Then why are you cribbing? You should have stayed there. That means you are not found your space in that company as yet. You will further go to the next organization. You will become a cribber, international cribber, if you go all over the world, right? So it's not that, we have to find our own space from within wherever we work. If you start enjoying whatever you do, well, you start liking it and you start growing. The only way you grow is when you start liking whatever you do. It means I'm doing the most mundane job, find interest in that, probably things will start changing. The job itself, the way you look at it changes. There are infinite possibilities the way you look at a job, right? So that's the way we all need to start doing and improving. Otherwise you'll keep changing. It's just not, you'll find the right job because you have found the right boss. Okay? And suddenly you find the boss also will leave and go now. Somebody else will come as the boss there. Okay? And the most dangerous thing you can do is go along with the boss, wherever the boss goes. Because if he gets kicked out somewhere, you'll also get kicked out. Okay? So it's dangerous. So better be careful where you need to change and where you need to go. And some stage, your boss is clinging on to you because there's a comfort level. At some stage you'll realize, I have been always reporting to him. Yeah, I also want to become the boss sometime. So I'll now detach myself from him. That's where the umbilical cord, we call it, cuts. And the boss is very unhappy with you. Yeah, aap to aise na the. You are not like this. You should have been like that. So all those problems start. So is there a difference between the way we were appraised in school and the way we are appraised today? There's absolutely no difference. We call this professional, we call that childish, that's all. But the way it's, unfortunately the teachers don't have that experience or input to appraise the way it has to be done. And the most important thing, which we are not put as somebody said, is the feedback you give. Okay? So let us do a very interesting exercise on a feedback. Okay? Oh, most important, I forgot. Okay. One of the most important thing is the way we set our targets. What is the other word for target? Goal. Okay. Give me an example of a goal. Goal तो football में भी होता है ना? You have a goal, you kick the ball into the goal. Correct? Yeah, it's a goal. There's nothing wrong. It's a goal. Everybody knows what is the difference between success and failure. So how should the goal be? How do you define a goal? Let's say let's go back to the school. That's a very beautiful example. Let's say, how many of you are married? Raise your hands. Okay. We all have kids. How old are our kids? How old is your kid?
31 years old.
वो तो बहुत बड़ा है. I'm saying anybody's child, going in 7th standard, 6th standard, who's in 5th, 6th, 7th, around that? Okay, right, you have, right? Now, let us say your child gets 50 marks in math. I'm not saying that he's got 50, okay? Yeah, I know, he's quite intelligent. He or a she. Okay. Let's say he's got about 50%, okay, in maths. So what will you do? Concentrate more on mathematics. Yes, he'll say, I'll concentrate more on mathematics. Sorry? You concentrate more. So you should be writing the examination, not he. Not he. Next time you get mother vis-a-vis the child. Mother? Huh? Okay. Normally, typically, to ensure that the child gets 50 to 60%, correct? What is the care of the father? To ensure that the child gets 50 to 60%. Okay. Now, what do you do with the child? थप्पड़ मारा उसको. पढ़, क्यों नहीं पढ़ रहा है? Idiot, you're bloody running around. Why are you moving around here? I asked you to come and play. This is a small joke out here also. This kid playing, So the father tells the child, go and study. He doesn't listen. He says, go and study. I told you to go and study. He doesn't listen. He gives him one slap. But I asked you to go and study. He starts crying and saying, I'll tell my daddy, I'll tell my daddy. He says, what is this nonsense? He's saying, I'll tell my daddy. So he calls his wife. And he says, why is this guy telling, I'll tell my daddy? He says, you hit the neighbor's kid. So anyway, so what I'm saying is, that's the amount of involvement which the father had. It didn't mean anything else, in case you have anything else in the mind. Anyway, so 50 to 60%. Is this a KRA for the child? You think he'll try hard. Mommy, I tried, but I got 51%. Are you happy? At this rate, beta, best thing is leave school and sit at home. Then what else? 50 to 60 are defined, no? So make it 55. 45 is more attractive for a child.
If you get 60, you will get some reward.
If you get 60, you will get a watch. Okay? Now, if I get 70, I will get a Xbox. If I get 80, I will get a cycle. If I get 90, daddy will give me a new car. This is the way you are destroying the child. This is the best way of spoiling him. He believes that until unless something is given to him, he will not do it. Tomorrow he will come to the company and say, boss, मैं ये करूँगा, आप क्या दे रहे हो मेरे को बताओ. That's a nice way of doing it also. Okay? आप क्या दे रहे हो बताओ मेरे को. बोलेगा यार क्या बात कर रहे हैं? नहीं, I will not do. I will leave and go. So this child has the potential to change from one company to other in every 2 years, okay, or maybe every year. Is this a KRA? What else is there? What is missing in this KRA?
Give more time to the flip side of it also.
Like what?
Child look at the interest part of the kid,
Ask him to leave studies. If he likes football.
Maybe one particular subject, he may be at sea, but.
No, we are just taking one example of a subject. Okay. So mathematics, he's got 50%. He has to move from 50 to 60%. What is missing here?
So I think the benchmark for other subjects is still not discussed.
We are only talking about mathematics.
Here, because what happens is if we focus more on maths, and we have not said that your standard for other subjects remains 70,
then it might happen as a trade-off because he might spend more time. Again,
I'm talking about very simple things. 50 to 60 he has to go. That's all. We are talking only about maths. What is missing in this? Is this a KRA? Hard work. How do you define hard work? What do you define extra time? See, I'm going to ask you questions like this only. Huh? Steps to achieve. Plan is missing. No, they're very I'm talking about very, very simple things, basic things. Sorry?
basic understanding.
What? How do you define basic understanding? See, you are telling a child that you have to achieve mathematics 50%, you have to go to 60%. Now, will the child achieve 60%? No, never. I'll achieve 60% after 2 years. No. Why should I achieve next year? 3 years ke baad I'll achieve. Next year I'll get 55 in the next class. Next year I'll get 60. I'm progressing, no? Then, what is missing in this? How do you define motivation? I mean, you have to be what? You have to be very, very specific. So, how do you define 50 to 60%? What is missing in this? This is nice English. This is very good English. Focus, very good English. I know all of you are very good in English.
So in the next assessment, you should score 60%.
That is understood. But what there's a time frame is missing. Score 50 to 60% by second term exam. So there is a time frame here. Okay? What else is there? The time, and there is also it has to be very specific. Okay? So he has to achieve mathematics from 50% to 60% by second term examinations of this year, whatever it is. So there is a base value, and there is also a target value, right? Okay. So is this measurable? Is this measurable? Okay. This is measurable. Is it specific? Is it achievable? Why can't you put it as 70%? 50 to 70, why can't he go? It is like somebody telling, I don't know, nowadays Sachin Tendulkar is not playing well. The days when he was playing well, if somebody is
So here's what we're going to do, right? Andy, I want you out on the wing. Trent, I want you to fake the pass to Andy and push the ball up the field, and then pass the ball to your forwards who are Sophie and Chris. Sophie, I want you to hold the ball and draw the defense out to you, all right? Then I want you to float a long pass all the way over the defense to Chris. Chris, you take it in for the score, just like we did in practice. Everybody got it? Let's go get him!
Do you see any similarities between Saturday morning soccer and Monday morning at the office? I mean, think about it. Too often, teams and organizations are unclear about the goals their top priorities really are. Coaches and players are simply not on the same page. What you get is everyone just kind of running around in all directions instead of working together toward the same goal. The ability to take high-level goals and strategies of an organization and then to translate those into action is a major problem in most organizations. It's one thing to come up with great strategies and goals, but it's quite another to actually get them done. This is what we could call the execution gap. In a landmark study done by the Harris Polling Group, we discovered some revealing statistics as to why execution breaks down and why goals aren't translated into action on the front line. First finding, only 15% of those surveyed can actually identify their organization's most important goals or top priorities. Either there are too many goals, or they change too often, or they simply don't have any. And in most cases, they are vastly undercommunicated. Just because the leaders are clear on what they want to achieve, it doesn't necessarily mean that the front line where the action really happens knows what the goals are. After all, in a very real sense, the front line produces the bottom line. Second, people may know what the goals are, but too often they haven't bought into them. Only 19% surveyed say that they feel passionate about the top goals of their organizations. That's only 1 in 5. There are a number of reasons for this, but the primary one is that they feel no ownership. They don't feel that they have input into what it's going to take to achieve the goal. They simply aren't emotionally connected to the goal. No involvement, no commitment. Third, those surveyed reported that they spend only 49% of their available work hours on their most important goals. The rest of the time is spent on urgent, but far less important activities. They get so distracted by urgent things that they neglect the most important things. Finally, people might know what the goals and top priorities are. They might even buy into them, but they don't know what they are supposed to do about them. In fact, 51% state that they personally do not understand what they are supposed to do to help the organization achieve its goals. Goals will not be executed until everyone clearly understands what the goal is and what they themselves specifically need to do to meet that goal. Once people are clear on what the goal is, then and only then are they free to try new and better ways to reach that goal. So the point is, to achieve goals you've never achieved before, you simply need to start doing things you've never done before. You might ask, is it possible to dramatically and measurably improve your team's ability to reach its goals? Can it really happen? My answer is absolutely. Just imagine the impact when everyone on the team is crystal clear about what the goals are. Imagine the energy and creativity that would be unleashed when everyone in the organization is committed and involved in achieving the goals. Consider the economic impact when everyone on the team is spending the majority of their time on top priorities. Just think what can be accomplished when every player on the team knows exactly what to do. The possibilities, my friends, are limitless.
Well, I need 2 volunteers here. Who's Who's willing to volunteer? Any two of you? All of us are learning. So there's nothing to feel shy about, including myself. So any two volunteers? Otherwise, I'm going to pick up two people. You? Come on. That's great. Excellent. Anybody else? One lady, yes. Who wants to come? Come. We'll have two chairs here. Now, we are going to do an exercise on appraisal. Okay? Just go ahead. Just sit there, right in front.
There's nothing to worry.
Absolutely. All of us are learning. Okay. Let's understand what the case is. Okay. This is a case of Mohan Raj. Okay. Mohan Raj is just a name. Mohan Raj has been working in the company for 7 years. He's joined as a graduate trainee. Okay. He did extremely well. Little bit, I think you need this. He did extremely well during his training period. Little more. Okay. And he's done very well all along. Any challenging work given to him, he just finished. He loves challenges. He thrives on challenges. Okay. So he loves challenges. So anything entrusted on him, he completes it on time. All his deadlines he has met and he has surpassed those deadlines. Okay. There are a few occasions where he has faltered, obviously, but most of it, the critical ones, he has cleared. He has done very well. Okay. This could be due to his overconfidence. What happens in his enthusiasm to do rightfully or do things, he becomes a little overconfident. That's where he loses focus, and that's where he falters. Okay. As I say, are you as a boss? Okay. Now, who is the boss? You're the boss. Okay. And she's the one who's going to get appraised. Okay. Now, you as a boss have given him undue importance. Okay, shall we reverse? Because him it is. So let's say, okay, you have given her undue importance, or let's switch. You become the boss and you become the subordinate. Okay, you as a boss have given him undue importance on account of his treatment towards other team members has not been. Because of this, he's become a little arrogant. So his the way he deals with people, the way he treats his people, his friends, his colleagues, his team members is very bad. Okay, he gives all kinds of galis wherever it is required. You have received complaints from others, but because he's such a wonderful performer, you are scared to tell him that, boss, you need to improve. Because the time you tell him, he's a boss, मैं अभी resignation डाल के जा रहा हूँ. You're scared because he is one of your top 5% of the performer, because he has achieved all through. Okay. On account of this, there has been some attrition, and this has become a concern to you of late. So as I said, any information you can assume, whatever information it is, but then you would like to understand how you would approach this. Is it clear? Mohan Raj is a performer. He joined as a graduate trainee. He is improved. He's done very well. He loves challenges, and because of his overconfidence, he has faltered in many occasions. And then what has happened is, his treatment to others is not very good. To the subordinates are not very good. The team members are not very good. So they are unhappy with him. You as a boss is not able to tell him the way he has to be told. So there is attrition. And your boss has said, boss, तुम्हारे department में एक दो बंदे हमेशा जाते रहते हैं. HR has made a complaint. Boss, we can't keep becoming a recruiting agency for this department. Keep giving people, they keep leaving. So now you have to convey this message to him, saying that, look, boss, there are issues, you need to improve or you need to change. Is it clear to both of you? Right? Can you face the audience? Okay. This way, please. Okay. Look, you have called him in. Okay. So she has called him in, and she is his boss, and he has come and sat down. Right? And you know how he is, right? What's your good name?
Vikrant.
Vikrant. He's Mohan Raj. Okay, Akanksha, right? Okay, Akanksha is the boss, right? Shall we start? Is it clear? So let's understand. You need to convey this message. How will you go about doing it? Start. Let us imagine Mohan Raj. You want him to come in from outside? Him? You called him? Okay, sure. Go ahead. You want him to? Okay. Hello. Hello. No. Hello. Okay. Okay. Start.
It is very difficult for
Don't worry. I know.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. It's good that a fresher like you, you would see a different perspective. All of us have become like horses. Don't worry. We think only in one way. Okay. Right. Start.
Hi Mohan.
Throw louder. I know ये आपको दबा देते हैं because your performance is good. He pushes on you, but you can be a little louder.
Hi Mohan. So how are you doing these days?
Sorry,
How are you doing these days?
Keep it a little closer.
How are you doing these days?
fine.
So
All is going well.
what about your work and your performance? What do you think?
I'm doing my 100%.
Okay. So
Can you hear? You can't hear, so that person has to hear right at the end, that's important. Should be like my voice. The neighbor also can hear. I think they're getting disturbed. So it should be like that.
So what do you think about your performance? I'm repeating. Nobody is listening, that's why.
What do you think about your performance, she's asked.
As I already told you that I have done my 100%.
You've done your 100%. It's good. That's great. And this is the same we believe also. So what do you think that other people with you think about you while working, as you work with them as a team? So what do you think they have, what are their views about you?
She's asking what are others' views about you.
But I have not gone through that process.
No, you, time to time you, at times you had realized their way of addressing your way of respect, or what type of feedback you realize that they feel about you. Well, we usually feel these type of things, no? Ki, what is my goodwill in my team, or that type of things.
Well, sometimes for achieving my targets, I had to behave not as per my character, but I have to behave which is not my character.
So you want to say that you sometimes behave differently as you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the reason? Why
To
it is
achieve my
required?
targets.
So is it required to achieve your target
Definitely.
to behave
That's
differently?
why I behaved.
Oh, that you think so.
Yeah.
So have you seen any senior or somebody else, like a counterpart or somebody, behaving like this, or maybe? What do you think? What do you, is what do you think your team have any problem with your? Did you ever realize this type of thing?
Okay. Anybody can guess what's happening here? We're going round and round. Huh? This is the way we all like to work, na? Gumado. She's going round and round and not coming to the point. In the bargain, what happens is his time gets. It's a.
trying to come on the point after some time.
No. See, he is a guy. He's a performer, challenger. He likes challenges. He's a performer. All people who perform and like challenges are the ones who like you to come to the point, tell them what it is. Yeah, you need to be good. You need to bring them to a particular level. We'll do it. the way. But you need to bring them to the point as quick as possible. So going round and round is not good. It has to be to the point. The second part is you should be actually listening to him. The time you do most of the talking, most of the talking should be done by whom? By him. Okay? You are only giving points, and to the point you are saying this is an issue. So what is the issue here? What is the issue here in this role play? Sorry? What is the effect of bad behavior? There is attrition. The problem is attrition. And your boss, who is me, has given you an ultimatum. Boss, ye attrition nahi chalega. You better reduce it. So it has come to a level of, all of us reach to a level where we are pushed to do things. That's the most dangerous point. So here is here is a situation where you're pushed to deliver, asking him to, and he knows that attrition has happened, but he is not bothered because he has been given undue importance. He has not been told at the right time what needs to be done. So that is where his behavior, and he is accepted that his behavior is not okay. Right? Okay. So it's important to come to the point and tell him that. So giving a one of the most important points of any appraisal is giving a feedback. And when you give a feedback, you have to focus on the issue and resolve it. You may not have one meeting, you may have a couple of meetings, but you should know that you should not plan for the next meeting. Every meeting we say what the next meeting is going to happen. So we need to be very clear and conclude on certain action points so that he comes back with those results in the subsequent, meetings. Okay, let's try. Go, sit down. Use it. Since I'm using this. Okay, another 10 minutes, I think. Okay, I'll just do it quickly. I think we have another 10. I thought it was 4:40. Anyway, fine. Okay, we say, hi Mohan Raj, how are you? Mohan Raj, the reason of calling you here, I would have actually informed him why I'm calling you. The reason of calling you here, as you are aware, I spoke to you yesterday, is, there's been a lot of attrition of people. And we have done an exit interview of many of the people who left. And the reasons, what do you think could be the reasons of attrition in our department? 4 people left. Anil, Sohail and Vishala. All 3 left in a matter of 4 months, the last 4 months. So what could be the reasons?
I would like to assess the exit interview reports.
Okay, I'll give you a feedback of all the 3 what they have given. See, Vishala said that she did mention on about 4 occasions, that was on 16th of October, she actually had done some, there was some job that you had given. And she came to you and she found that there were some mistakes in the job. While I understand there were mistakes in the job, but the way you approached and told her, she wasn't comfortable. That's what she has mentioned in the exit interview. And on 19th of December, that was the second interaction when in one of the spindles there was an issue. And then you called her up and you called her to come down. She came down and then, this is what. So I'm telling him instances where he cannot say that it didn't happen. So don't you think that these 3 people have left have reported with the instances? Don't you think that there is something you need to do something about it?
Definitely I have to, but I have been told that you have to achieve the targets either this way or either that.
See, we have no issues on your target. It's extremely good you have achieved. You've done a good job. You're an important person in the department because you have achieved those targets. But it's not important, it's also important the way you achieve those targets. And tomorrow you're going to grow to be at a leadership level. One of the key things for you is to, improve your approach towards people. Because ultimately somebody else will be doing the same job you're doing. You'll go to the next level. So for that you need to now, understand the people aspect of it. So what do you suggest we need to do to improve on this? Some of the areas that I can see based on the 3-4 instances. Now I am giving him some inputs. You can do this. I'll give him 1 or 2 inputs, then I'll tell him what else do you think needs to be done, which I can help you or facilitate you to improve on that. So it has to be a collaborative effort. And also at the end, I'll do a conclusion of the points. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 points, action points we write down. You also write down. This is what the action point is. And going forward, we'll review after 2 months. And I would like to see a change in your approach to people. No such instances should be there. If there is any issue, you feel angry or you get upset, just do not say immediately. Wait for a few seconds and then say. Probably that could be one of the ways of helping you. So I am trying to help him and go. And in telling how it has to be done, right? So there are different ways of. Right. Okay. Now. So how should the feedback be given? It should clarify expectations, assess and discuss relevance of goals, improve communication between individuals, opportunity to learn about ourselves and how we interact with others, and assist in early corrections. No surprises later. Okay, that's very important. Now this is the action plan which I was talking to you about, the KRAs. See, these are the KRAs that you have set, right? It has got, it's the SMART goal. It says achieving sales target, 118 crores, domestic this much, international this much by 31st. And each quarter it says what is the target that you need to achieve. And that's the last final when you are being assessed. Now, how are you going to go about achieving this is your KRA. The KRA is the first one there. That is achieving sales target or whatever it is. Here is the first KRA. And here you will write down the key activities. What are the key activities by when it is going to finish? Now, supposing you say, to finish this, to achieve this KRA, I need, let's say for an HR person, I need 3 people. Okay? This is the 3 people. And the end date for these 3 people is, let us say by 3 months from now. Now, that becomes the KRA for the HR guy. And what is the support? The support required from there. This is the end date, this activity, the support required is from whom I require. So from that person or that level, the KRAs, the next KRAs are formed. So that's how the whole KRAs get interlinked. And you need to only monitor the action plan. You don't need to monitor the KRAs. If the bosses monitor the action plan, because there are end dates, all the end dates is actually working backwards. That's the way the target date is there, target level or the target date is there, time frame, working backwards. So once you work backwards through all these action points, you have achieved your KRAs, right? Okay, now the induction. Why do they do induction? What is the reason for doing induction? What does induction do? Why do? If I quote an example, when we all got, does induction happen other than workplace also? When you get married, is there an induction that happens?
Yes.
Right? There's an induction that happens. When the girl gets married into the boy's house, there's an induction that happens. Okay, ye Nana hai, right? This is the Nana, he likes chai with less sugar. Okay? This is your mama, this is your mommy, this is the elder, they are very important, this is the person who actually brought you. So there's an induction going on. Why does that induction happen? The induction happens to reduce anxiety. One is to reduce anxiety. Because you are not sure what could be the, to avoid surprises. So you reduce anxiety. You know that this Nana requires this much chai and I should not annoy him. The second is you start becoming independent on routine operations. Where routine operations are concerned, you know how it has to be done. To do this job, I need to approach this person. To do this job, I need to send 4 MISs to 4 people. Right? To do this job, or these are the people who can give. The chai wala, I have to call up. If I have to give chai for my department, it has to be like this. If the boss requires chai, I'll have to get it from this person. Suddenly, if this person goes instead of that person, the boss will ask, who the hell asked you to come? Who sent you? Suddenly, he'll say, me. So it becomes a serious issue of dissatisfaction. So it could also lead to attrition. The day you're treated, the first day you're treated, if you're not treated well, you'll say, what the hell, where did I join? So your whole mind goes off. So first impression is the best impression. Demonstrate how much you value new people. Anybody who comes in the induction program, you're trying to give a value, you're trying to respect the individual and say what it is, right? Share good employment practice. You're sharing what are the practices, you're helping the individual to adapt himself into the culture of the company. Okay? Introduction to the culture and commitment, the good practices, employee motivation, it helps to motivate an employee, it motivates him because he knows how the company works, the fabric of the organization is. Understand responsibilities and what is expected out of them. You know your responsibility, you have been told what responsibilities are, what is expected out of you. It's a formal way of communicating to the individual. And it also helps to reduce cost, and because of reduce costly and time consuming mistakes. Suppose you don't tell the person goes and does something, right? My son was just telling me yesterday that one of the boys, they are not allowed to use internet, or they are allowed to use the internet, but they are not allowed to download movies. So nobody told him, he went and downloaded a movie, he had to pay 500 rupees fine. For a student, 500 rupees is a lot of money. So it is a very costly mistake. So it's important to tell the individual in advance, so that sometimes company can lose heavily if not being told, right? So these are the reasons why. So who should have an induction program? A new employee, okay? It can also be a staff who has been promoted or transferred, right? And there are some people, like for example, there are people, I remember one gentleman when I was working with ICAHT, he had an accident and he couldn't come to office for almost 8 months. He came after 8 months. A lot of things had changed in the organization. So he went through an induction. So during such time also you need to take people through an induction. And of course your temporary staff also needs to go through an induction. Whether it's a worker who goes through it or whether it's a very senior person who's a temporary person also goes through it, right? Now the incentive scheme, I'll quickly go through the last 2 slides. Why do we have an incentive scheme? Incentive scheme is to boost productivity, to link individual and business performance, okay, to drive company strategy. Why is incentive formed? Because you are setting the targets in the beginning of the year and the market conditions can keep changing. So when the market conditions change, you don't go back each time and change the KRAs and you don't change the company targets. When the market is conducive to increase the target, that gap, what you do is you create an incentive to up the target, and when the market conditions bring you down, you try to create a challenge by giving incentive to the individual to achieve the target. So target is sacrosanct, you need to achieve or you need to surpass it. That's how incentive schemes have come. So it is to drive the company strategy. See, incentives basically focus on the output, not on the process. So it is basically focused purely on the output. It's also to attract and retain. If I know that incentive also can be in the form of variable pay. So if the variable pay is good and I have the ability to achieve much more or gain more incentive by achieving targets or surpassing those targets, then there is an opportunity for me to earn more. So incentive motivates, it retains people. Because today as you go ahead, there is more and more of incentive and variable pay more than the fixed one, right? Increase staff motivation, morale and loyalty. It aligns employee behavior with shareholder expectations. Ultimately, every company works to increase its share value. So what happens is you create the incentive scheme around a system which helps to fulfill the shareholders' value, right? Okay, how should it be? It should be simple, it should be transparent, it should be equitable, that means equal, everybody should know, transparent, everybody should know how it works and how the incentives are given. It should be economical, you should not create a problem in the organization. Suddenly you create an incentive and you find that you've given away too much but not achieved anything. So it should be economical, flexible, can change along with times, should be support, you need the support from everybody. Everybody has to support the incentive, otherwise many people may not participate and they'll just leave the organization. So support is required from the people who matter in the organization. Motivation, okay, it is to be motivating and it should be prompt. If you have to give somebody some money at some stage, you have to give it. If you delay that, then the whole essence of incentive is lost. And who all are there? For whom it is? For employees, for dealers, for customers. Even customers have incentive. No, you have, like, for example, in Jet Airways or all these airlines, you have these points, right? So you can redeem these points. You go to any mall today, everybody, all consumers get a lot of incentive from companies. And customers, if you buy cars, you get a lot of, if you give a Hyundai old car, you get a new car and they reduce the price, something like that. So it's for dealers, it's for employees. Anyway, thanks. Sorry I had to rush in through, but anyway, that's what it is. Thank you very much.